So the first part is going to be the presentation in English and in Spanish. And the second part, we're going to come back together and we're going to be able to answer all of your questions in English and Spanish. You're going to be able to ask me questions, Benji, and we're going to go into details also if you have questions.
Bueno, la primera parte nos vamos a dividir en dos salas, en inglés y en español, para tener la presentación del programa, y después vamos a volver a la sala principal para una sección de preguntas, que van a poder hacer preguntas en el idioma que prefieran, tanto para Benji como para Yana, y vamos a tratar de contestarles lo mejor posible.
Great, so I think we're ready to start. So we're going to already split into languages and then we'll come back together. Hi, everyone. So it's really nice to have you. I'm going to share my screen. But before we start, I'm just going to explain a little bit about myself, and Benji also will have time to introduce himself. I'm Shana. As I told you, I'm in charge of Maslul Nitzan. The idea came many years ago when I was still in France. I made Aliyah from France nearly 8 years ago. And I saw some of my friends making Aliyah and joining the army. One of them is actually here, Sarah, who is the Jewish agency Shlicha in Rome, in Italy. And I saw them just like, going through the drafting, through the army, through everything alone, and having no support necessarily from outside. And this really, stayed with me until the time I could actually be in a role to create this program. And so this is where we're at with Maslul Nitzan. It's really the goal of it is to guide soldiers, and we're going to explain you how. Ben, you want to explain a little bit about your tasking?
Of course. So hi everyone again. So I'm also friends with Shana and Sarah. We've met years ago, and I made Aliyah 15 years ago already. And I've also been very, very interested into helping Shana with building this amazing program. I explain a bit later, I'll elaborate a bit later about why I joined and how it can actually be pretty useful for you guys who are interested to hear more and potentially drafting.
Do you want to tell a little bit about the tafkid you had in the army now?
So 15 years ago, so I joined and I drafted into the youth corps actually. And since I'm also from France, I spoke a couple of languages. My role was, it's called More Chayal, teacher soldier. Basically, I helped people from around the world, most specifically French people, because mother tongue can help it. But I help people drafting. I help them with the whole process of making Aliyah, and this is one of the reasons why I also joined this whole program. I wanted to continue and continue helping as many people as I could.
Thank you, Ben. So we're gonna go over the presentation. Please write down your questions. We're not gonna stop because we're trying to make it short for you to make it relevant. So we're not gonna stop. You can write down your questions. You can also in the chat, you can send questions to Benji and me, and we'll answer later on in the Q&A part. I presume that some of you also are not native English speakers. As you understood, Ben and me are also not. If we're speaking too fast or if there are words you don't understand, please feel free to write down in the chat. We'll get the information that something isn't clear and we'll make sure to make it clear. And also we have here people that speak different languages, so we can also maybe help translate. Okay, so I'm going to start with the presentation. And I'll start with the big lines. Maslul Nitzan is a program for people making Aliyah. It can be people that are already in Israel, or it can be people that are planning to make Aliyah. We need everyone in Israel before the summer, before end of July. I will explain that later. So people thinking of Aliyah before the summer. It can be this year, it can be next year. I know some of you told me it's only for next year that you're part of this session, and it's great. So we're starting on August 1st, and because of COVID, obviously people need to come a bit early. It's for people that made Aliyah. We're not looking for people that are going to be volunteers in the army, because we see the army as a social and an Israeli mission, not as something that, you know, we're building one group and we're looking for people that want to build their lives in Israel, and part of it is going to the army. We're recruiting people that are between the ages of 18 and 22, so that most of them do a full service, and the idea of closed base, some of you might be familiar with this. In the army, you can serve kind of as a job. You go home every night, or you can go home every weekend, which means that you're in different roles. So because we are living on a kibbutz, the idea is that with Maslul Nitzan, also with some other program like Garin Sabar that maybe you've heard of, those are programs where you're in a closed base. Okay, it doesn't change anything really. A lot of roles are open. But if you're looking for a program, you know, where you're going home every night, then this is not going to be possible with us. We're looking for people that want to hang out together in the weekend when they come back. So as I told you, it's a partnership with HaShomer HaTzair, which is a socialist youth movement that you might have heard of in history books, about the uprising of the ghetto in Warsaw in Poland in the Second World War, which actually the commemoration was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So this is also great to see the continuation until today of protecting Israel and serving as a group. And so this is really open to people that are looking for, you know, a HaShomer HaTzair vibe, but not only, okay? It's open to anyone, and we'll tell you a bit more, and you'll see that probably you are in a HaShomer vibe and you never knew about it. So this is the general guidelines. Now, I want to start with why we're different from other programs, because we have different goals and we work differently, and I think that's really important. So first of all, as Ben told you, and as I told you, we're both Olim, and we're leading the content and the program, which means that this is the only program that you have as a full-on program where you live together. You have a sort of a mechina, of a machane, some of you know the concept, that is created by Olim from their experience for Olim, okay, 100%. And this brings a very special and unique experience that because of this, I'm focusing more on how to learn about Israeli society, discover Israel, be part of Israel, and have a smooth transition into, you know, your aliyah. And Ben is focusing on the army side, preparing you, getting you ready in a way that you feel confident. So it's a 1-year program, but I'll explain this. Each year we only have one group, okay? Our goal is not to bring hundreds of people to Israel. We love for it to happen, but that's not our aim. Our aim is to take people that want to be here, that want to be part of a group, that want to discover Israeli society, and only focus on 10 people per year, okay? 10 people from all around the world, from all the Olim and Olot that come every year. We choose 10 people that we believe are looking for Maslul Nitzan, okay? And I'll explain a bit more about this. When I told you about HaShomer HaTzair, this is very special. You might have heard of Garin Sabar. We're friends, we work together, we send each other potential participants. The difference is that Garin Sabar is run by the Scouts, and Maslul Nitzan is run by HaShomer HaTzair. So the Scouts and HaShomer HaTzair, which was the pioneer movement that built the kibbutzim, it's just a very different kind of perspective. And this perspective is really important for us. We see the social values, caring about Israeli society, being part of Israeli society, wanting tikkun olam, to fix the world, are values that we go really deep into our program because we chose to be Israelis because we care so much about Israel. And we know there are young people out there that this is why they're coming to Israel, to serve and to be part and to care for all the different people that live on the land. Obviously, as I told you, HaShomer HaTzair is a youth movement. And so we take the methods and the education and the pedagogy of the youth movement to make it fun for adults. So both the Ulpan, okay, we have Ulpan, I'll explain, both the Ulpan and the activities that we have are completely informal, okay? Which means it's fun, it's engaging, it's critical, it's something for people that, don't want to sit, take notes. It's really much on the ground. We go, we meet communities. That's very much the idea. And it's more than just a pre-army program. Okay, we see our Garin, our group, as full-on people that come to Israel that are going to be Israeli. We're going to help them. We're going to meet Israelis. We're going to get to know Israeli society. And you know, it's not just like 4 months with us and then be'atzlacha, good luck. Okay, this is also very important. So now I just want you to listen from our participants. Each one of them wanted to give you a little taste of Maslul Nitzan from their eyes.
שלום, קוראים לי שירה ואני בת 23 מארצות הברית, וכשעליתי לארץ ניסיתי להתגייס לבד, והבנתי שזה תהליך מאוד מסובך וקשה, ואז מצאתי את מסלול ניצן, ובחרתי להשתתף ואני מאוד שמחה עם הבחירה שלי. היא קודם כל ממש עזרו לי עם כל התהליך של הגיוס, חוץ מזה גם מצאו לי מקום לגור, מקום ממש יפה, ומשפחה מאומצת. הגעתי באותו זמן עם חברים שגם עוברים את אותו דרך, וגם עשיתי שם אולפן, וזה ממש עזר לי עם העברית, ועבדתי קצת בקיבוץ, שזה חלק מהתוכנית, מאוד נהניתי מזה, והרגשתי מאוד מוכנה לפני שהתגייסתי, ואני ממש ממליצה על מסלול ניצן.
So this was Shira, who made Aliyah from Boston in the USA, and now we're going to hear Daniel, who made Aliyah from Holland, from Amsterdam.
שלום חברים, קוראים לי דניאל, אני מאמסטרדם, אני בן 20. כן, בחרתי מסלול ניצן, כי באמת עוזרים לך באופן אינדיבידואלי, וגם הם לא רק אומרים לך, הצוות עוזרים לנו עם כל דבר, לא רק אומרים לנו מה לעשות, אלא גם באמת באו איתנו ולסדר את הכל, לדוגמה במשרד הקליטה, וזהו, אני משרת בסיירת גולני, שגם בזכותם עשינו מכינה כיפית, ולמדתי על הצבא והכל, ועם המידע הזאת אני כאן עכשיו, בזכותה, כן.
So this is Daniel, and we'll finish with Ronnie, who made Aliyah from Belgium.
שלום, אני רוני, אני מבלגיה. אני עשיתי עלייה באוגוסט 2020, ואני רוצה להגיד שאני עשיתי מסלול ניצן, ואני ממליצה את זה בחום ובאהבה, כי אני מאוד אהבתי איך את התהליכים שעשינו ואיך שעשינו. היינו מדריכים, היינו מדריכה שתמיד הייתה פה בשבילנו, מדריכה שעשה לנו הסברים על הצבא וכל מיני דברים כאלה. היה לנו פעולות על ישראל, על איך לגור באנשים, על איך להיות בישראל. היה לנו טיולים במכינה קדם צבאית, שזה מכינה ממש עם מלא עולים חדשים מכל הארץ, מכל העולם, סליחה. אני ממליצה, ויש לכם אנשים, החברים שלי מהמסלול הזה יהיה חברים לחיים, שגם עשו עלייה, ואני ממליצה, נשיקות.
Okay, so those are our participants telling you a little bit about it. If you have any questions, we can tell you, but we're going to go to the next slide. Wait.
שלום חברים, אני דניאל,
So here gets the real deal. I'm going to tell you about the time frame and what the program includes. So now we're in the stage of applications. We're taking application until the end of the mid-May, and we're giving the answers to participants at the end of May, okay? So it's very soon. We already have applications. We're doing a few more Zoom sessions and a few more events. But as I told you, we are looking for only 10 people out of all the Olim from all around the world, and it's really important for us that it's diverse. So this is happening now. We're doing the application. The application, as you see, involves a few steps, an application form that I'm going to share today, an interview, and then recommendation and medical form. If you're interested, obviously, we'll guide you through this. So this is until the mid-May. Then as I told you before, we have until July 15th for people to be in Israel, because we're starting on August 1st. Okay, we're starting with 3 months in the kibbutz of living together in the kibbutz, getting to know the community, and starting the pre-army process. Okay, starting the drafting process that Benji is gonna tell you about. In the kibbutz, you'll have a full-on program, which I'm gonna show you now. This is a typical week in Maslul Nitzan from August until October. 3 months that people live in the kibbutz in their own house together as a group from all around the world. And on Sundays, which is in Israel the first day of the week, you have the Yom Kfutza, so the group focuses on itself. You have volunteering in the kibbutz. You have ulpan, as I told you, it's like really informal ulpan. We have the teacher sitting with you, 1 or 2 people, and really practicing your Hebrew, reading books, watching movies, practicing with people in the kibbutz. And you heard our participants, they have amazing Hebrew. So we're really proud of our method. We have peulot. Peulot are activities about topics that are different. And then we have army preparations. We have time to meet activists and communities, and we have trips. Okay, so this is the general weekly schedule. And then, so we finish the 3 months in the kibbutz, and then we go for 1 month with 200 olim and olot from all around the world for 1 month of boot camp, where it's intensive Hebrew in the morning and trips and preparation for the army in the afternoon. This is for all of November. Okay, so 3 months in the kibbutz, then 1 month in the boot camp, and then drafting. Okay, the draft can happen from the end of November on, depending on the roles. Okay, because each unit drafts at different time. And then you go into the army. Okay, so here you might have some questions. Feel free to write in the chat or to keep it for the end. So basically, Maslul Nitzan brings you from the moment you make Aliyah to going through the kibbutz integration, getting a host family, being part of the community, and all of this through the service. So we have a principle in our program. The first one is the group experience, which is really important. As I told you, we only have 1 group, and we focus all of love and our care to these 10 people. We cherish the diversity and the cultures that we bring as the Jewish people from all around the world. And we have big experience in Kfutzat. We're looking for people that want to live in a group with more than just roommates, okay? The second point is really much giving our participants a very strong support system. We want them to feel like they are growing. We want them to feel that they're getting, supported as a family, and that they're never alone. That's the goal of Maslul Nitzan, that you never have to handle anything alone. We go with you to everything. We go to the administrative process together, and we also make sure that everyone feels comfortable with mental health and a creative and positive environment. And now I'm going to give the mic to Benji, because he's going to tell you about the special method we use in Maslul Nitzan to prepare people for the draft.
Thank you. Okay. So basically, you guys, what do we have in Maslul Nitzan? We have the IDF coaching. Okay, we all know, because we felt that ourselves. We know that you guys come from their very different backgrounds, very different cultures. You have your own personal history and so on and so forth, but you still want to draft. Okay, so basically our idea is that we want you guys to know everything you can. We want to separate what you may have heard about the IDF and what's actually true. And also throughout the process, also telling you how to prepare the best way there is to serve the best way there is, okay? So that's why we're actually pretty proud of this whole IDF coaching part in Maslul Nitzan. This is something I personally brought to this program because I myself felt that there was something lacking when I wanted to enroll, okay? I lacked information, I lacked a lot of things, and that's why we want you guys to feel that you don't lack this, okay? So first point, getting familiar with the IDF, okay? Everything you need to know before drafting. The IDF structure and how to get to the role you want. Second thing, mashmaut. Mashmaut, what does it mean? Literally in Hebrew, it means meaning. Okay, we want you guys to know what it means to serve meaningfully, okay, in the IDF as lone soldiers yourselves, to understand how important and how amazing that is, because it really is amazing. But also taking into consideration that you'll get a job at some point in the army. It can be combat, non-combat. There are various, I think there are actually hundreds of roles for either male or female. And we want to help you as much as we can to get to the role you want. But in the end, the army has the final say in the matter. So we want you guys to give your own meaning to the role you'll be assigned to. Okay, so that's the mashmaut part. And then throughout the whole process, from the very moment you step foot into Israel until the moment you draft, there's this whole process of preparing you for this. Okay, like I said before, and like Shana said before also, we're a support system. Okay, we take into consideration that as 18-year-olds, you may come with your own obstacles, your own history, and you may want to get into the IDF, but maybe you feel that you lack, you need more self-confidence and so on and so forth. So basically, we want to be there for you as your personal coaches, okay, as a group, but more specifically as individually, okay? We want you to know everything you need to know, but also everything you need to know about yourselves. So you know that you actually are worth serving in Unit A, Unit B, or whatever. Okay, so this is the whole part from August until November, at the end of the boot camp or so, until you draft. There's this whole part of simulations and practicing, mental and physical preps. We want to put you into a soldier's shoes, basically a couple of times, so you get a taste of what it means to be a soldier, and of course the personal coaching. Now we'll go to the next slide and spread in 4 months, okay, sort of from August until the drafting basically. Bear with me, there are some terms, as you can see with the quotes, the quote marks, the Tzav Rishon, the Yom HaMea, and the Manila. I'll explain in just a second, okay? So, number one, as you arrive, the first meetings that we'll have will be about basically knowing the army, okay, what it is to serve, where it is to serve meaningfully, etc. What I just said before, and of course the Tzav Rishon. Now, the Tzav Rishon, what is it? The Tzav Rishon is basically your first date with the army, okay? The army, they want to know everything they need to know about you, so they can help you get to the role that fits you the best, but also that fits their own requirements. As you know, the army, although it's a very special army and we're very proud of it, it's still no summer camp. Okay, so they have a final say. They want to make sure that they can, trust you with responsibilities in any unit whatsoever. So we want to prepare you guys for this. The Tzav Rishon is it entails a personal interview. It entails an interview to know, to check your level of Hebrew, for instance. I'll get that in a second, don't worry. So it entails a lot of things, and we want to prepare you guys also for that. Okay, so this is part of the introduction. Okay, and then the part, and then as we move towards the Tzav Rishon itself, we have other activities, so you guys can actually get more information about the units that interest you. Okay, we put you in touch with actual soldiers who currently serve in these units or used to serve in these units, so you have this information for you. Then we get to the Tzav Rishon. When you finish the Tzav Rishon, you guys, you get the results of the Tzav Rishon, the examinations you get there, and accordingly, individually, we'll do the follow-up. Okay. Say somebody joins the program, a participant is named Daniel. So Daniel wants he can go to a combat unit. So we follow up and we check how the process works. Okay, we have Ronnie goes to the youth corps, for instance. Okay, so we work individually with you guys so smoothly you can get into your own unit. According to the units also, some units need extra examinations. We don't have too much time to get into this today, but one of these examinations for non-combat units is called the Yom HaMea, as you can see there, okay? The Yom HaMea, basically, for non-combat, you need to have extra examinations, and it's another way for you guys to show your worth, basically. You can go from the Yom HaMea, you can go into Intel units, Youth Corps units, logistics, you can do a lot of stuff, okay? And then finally, after this whole process is done, you get the Manila. Now, the Manila, what is it? It is the letter where you guys are assigned, you have options of roles, okay, according to everything that you've done before. As I said before, and it's very, very important to remind this, the Army has the final say in the role that you'll be assigned to, okay? We're here to help you guys get this role, but in the end, we're partners of the Army, we're not the Army. So the Army gets the final word, okay? And then there's the drafting. Now, one thing very important, we know that most of you won't come with a level of Hebrew that's worth getting into unit X or Y. This is why the Army has an ulpan, actually. You get into the Army and you do a 3-month ulpan according to your level. After the end of this ulpan, which is part of your Army service, you have another possibility to show your worth thanks to your Hebrew that you got in Mirve Alon. And according to that, you can get into a unit. Okay, I guess there are a lot of questions. Don't worry, afterwards I'll answer all of them. But that's basically it.
Awesome, Ben. Thank you so much. We're going to continue talking about the different important points of our program. I know it's a lot. We're close to the end. We have 2 more minutes. So learning is a very important part of our program, and we're looking for people that are curious and eager to learn and want to discover Israeli society, learn about the histories, the communities, the challenges, and want to be part of Tikkun Olam. So we have really engaging discussions. We meet a lot of organizations, a lot of activists, a lot of former soldiers that do interesting things now to help Israeli society. We have trips, activities, meetings, and the idea is really to create a space, and that's something important about Maslul Nitzan, create a space to grow, to develop your identity, and to think about what it means to be a soldier, what it means to become Israeli, because it's a big transition, and not often we have the time for this. In addition, we're obviously joining a community. We only choose kibbutzim that really want olim to serve in the army, but also stay after. Okay, so this kibbutz Sarid, which is in the north, they have other programs of young people. They have families waiting for olim. They have a process of having everyone together, doing the chagim together, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a really, really, really nice kibbutz with a lot of young people, which is rare. Something I'll go briefly about, as I told you, this program is from HaShomer HaTzair. It's open to everyone, but there is one special thing that we have. Our Garin, our group, is part of the Israeli groups serving in the army. So we have groups of Israelis who are also from HaShomer HaTzair that serve together in the army. And so our group is part of this. It means we meet, we have seminars together, we have fun together. And it means that you're not just an Ole or an Ola alone, but you actually meet more Israelis. And that's a way to get integrated better into Israeli society. I can tell you, I think Benji can tell you, and a lot of people can tell you this. So that's it. You had the full presentation. I hope you wrote down some questions. I saw in the chat there are a few. So we're going to go back together with the Spanish speakers, and we're going to go over all of your questions. Hi, everyone. We're going to wait just one more minute for the Spanish speakers to come back with us. And then I'm going to explain how to apply a little bit about the price and the different logistical things. And we're going to answer all of your questions. So just a little bit of patience. I encourage you to go to the bathroom, take some coffee, water, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. If you have a question, you can already write it in the chat, or you can raise your hand and we'll open the microphone for you to speak. And that would be lovely because we've been talking a lot and we would love to hear you. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I think we're all back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great. So I was just saying, if you have some questions, you can write it in the chat or you can raise your hand on Zoom and we'll open your mic, whatever you feel more comfortable. And oh, sorry, Nadu.
Si tienen preguntas o consultas o algo que no haya quedado claro, pueden mandarlo por el chat en el idioma que prefieren y lo traducimos, o también levantar la mano ahí en Zoom si prefieren hablar.
So just before I let everyone write, I see someone who has their hand up, English. I don't know what your name is. If you just 1 second, we're gonna let you speak. I just want to for a second explain. Give some time for people to write their questions or think about it. And I'm going to explain about the application and the price now.
Antes de que iniciemos con las preguntas y también para que vayan pensando, repasando un poquito lo que hablamos, si tienen alguna duda, Jana va a explicar cosas relacionadas a la aplicación y al precio del programa.
Okay, so you went through the program. If you have more questions, we're going to also make sure you can have our phone number and you can talk to us.
También si tienen otras dudas sobre el programa, como les dijimos, nos vamos a asegurar que tengan las redes y el número de teléfono y el mail para que se puedan contactar.
And I'm posting now in the chat the registration form. It's just if you're interested for us to get in contact with you. It doesn't mean you're sure you want to apply, but if you're interested and you want us to be in touch with you, please fill out this form.
Entonces ahí en el chat Jana mandó el forms de inscripción, que no necesariamente es para quien está 100% segura de que quiere participar, pero que sí les gustaría que entremos en contacto y hablemos un poco más del proceso. Entonces por favor llénenlo para que podamos contactarnos.
Thank you. So as we explained to you in the presentation, this program is created by Hashomer Hatzair, which is a socialist youth movement.
Entonces, como les comentábamos al principio, este programa fue hecho por Hashomer Hatzair, que es un movimiento juvenil socialista.
And what it means to us is that we believe that we're doing this to bring people with us, to guide people. And if people have some financial difficulties, want to pay in different times, like several pays, they want to use their Sal Klita to pay the program, all of this can be a conversation, and it's not just one price, and can you afford it or not, okay?
Entonces lo que esto significa es que como programa queremos que la gente pueda participar y se una, así cualquier persona que tenga una complicación económica, que quiera pagar en distintos tiempos, en varias cuotas, usar su Sal Klita, la canasta de absorción que reciben por ser Olim o LOT, o cualquier otra cuestión que tengan relacionado con el pago o el dinero, es importante también que se sientan cómodos y cómodas de comentarlo y así lo podemos discutir y hablar.
So the way it goes is like this. I'm going to talk in shekels because everyone's from all around the world. So the program costs per month 3,500 shekels, and I'm going to explain.
Entonces vamos a hablar primero en shekalim. para que sea como una moneda en común, pero ya lo vamos a explicar mejor. El programa en total sale 3.500 shekalim.
Per month. Per month.
Perdón, por mes. Sale 3.500 shekalim.
And the total of 4 months before the draft is 14,000.
Y el total de 3 meses antes del reclutamiento es de 14.000.
So the way it works is that people can pay, as I told you, in several months to make it easier.
Entonces, cómo funciona es, como les decía Yana, pueden pagar en varios meses, en distintas cuotas para hacerlo más sencillo.
And we also have scholarships for people that can take down to up to a third of the price.
Y también hay becas para algunas personas que pueden llegar a reducir hasta 1/3 del precio.
So when you pay this price, it basically includes a lot of things. It includes the rent, the house, with electricity, water, the food every single day, including weekends, evening, everything.
Entonces el precio total incluye varias cosas. Por un lado lo que es el alquiler de la casa con todos los servicios, agua, luz, y también todas las comidas, incluyendo fines de semana, tardes libres.
In addition, you have all of the educational process, okay? So Ulpan 2 or 3 times a week, the staff that is present, the activities, the trips, and it's everything is written on our website also.
Y eso además incluye todo lo que es la parte educativa, o sea, Ulpan 2 o 3 veces por semana, todo el staff, todo el personal que está acompañando, tiulín, paseos, actividades, y que además todo eso está detallado en la página web.
So if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask. I think it's about time we open the floor for questions.
Entonces, si tienen alguna pregunta sobre esto y en general, ahora vamos a abrir el espacio para preguntas.
Okay, so we had someone with name English that wanted to ask a question. I'll open your mic. Yes, you can speak.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
So my name is Rafael. I'm drafting to Mikve Alon Strait this 10th of May. I don't know if it's really relevant like to the programming itself. I just wanted to know if like I want to draft specifically as a combat photographer. So if it's any information, context, leads, or something that you could share with me that could help me achieve this unit, I would be super appreciative.
Ben, do you have any contact?
Can you give me again the name of the unit itself? I couldn't.
Salam Kravi.
Salam Kravi, you want to be? Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's a challenge. Cool. I like challenges. Okay, so Salam Kravi.
So anyways, if you don't know someone, I think it's basically we don't, the way it works is that we don't have contact with every unit in the army. If you want to send me a message, and we'll try, Ben and me always try to find, you know, like specific soldiers, we'll try to help with pleasure, but it's not really part like of our program to do this. And if you're drafting already in to Mikve Alon, you will have a lot of people there that will make sure that you feel comfortable, that you can learn about the different roles. So definitely be in touch with them, and be in touch with me. And you have on the flyer, you have my phone number.
Okay. So and I can also like get in contact with Ben. Maybe if he like knows.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah. Nice.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, so I see we have another question, which is I want to with my. Okay, so for people that want to join not from August, okay, and this is important, Nadu, you'll also maybe translate this. The program, we're building a group, okay, a very close group. So the 4 months before the army are really important to us in the process. We can't prepare you if you're joining, you know, only in November, because it's basically just the boot camp. So if you're having a program, a Masa program, an Ulpan, or things like this, basically you can't really do both. And unfortunately, you can't really join only in November. But again, you know, it's Israel, everything's flexible. So you should definitely fill out the form, write down that this is your case. We've had people last year that signed up and were supposed to finish Ulpan later, and then they decided to leave the Ulpan 1 month before, which is not something I'm encouraging you to do, but if it's to join us, maybe this is the right choice. Okay, do we have any other question? Also, sorry.
No, it's fine. Respecto a gente que tenga un plan, por ejemplo, de Masá o está haciendo un Ulpan antes de que inicie el programa, al ser un programa que apunta a crear un grupo entre los participantes y que realmente tenga una intimidad y una unión, en principio técnicamente no es posible sumarse más tarde. Por ejemplo, si alguien entrara recién en noviembre, que es directo para entrar al ejército, eso no sería una opción dentro del programa. Pero sí, digamos, al estar en Israel y existir una flexibilidad más grande, igual completen el forms de inscripción para que estemos en contacto con ustedes, si es que su programa termina más tarde de lo que iniciaría Maslul Nitzan en agosto. Hubieron personas en el pasado que salieron un poco antes de sus programas para unirse al Maslul Nitzan, así que igual no dejen de completar el forms y podemos entrar en contacto y hablarlo.
Thank you. Any other questions that you have, you can write in the chat, you can raise your physical hand or your Zoom emoji hand. Yes, Melina. Hi.
Hola, sí, tengo una pregunta. Este plan, yo estoy haciendo proceso de ALIA y quería saber si se podía agilizar mi ALIA con este proceso, de alguna manera.
What Melina asked is that she's doing her Aliyah process and she wanted to know if in any way this would make the process a bit faster.
So that's a good question. Oren, you want to take this one?
I don't know if faster, but we can accompany you very closely. And if you contact us, even if you don't do we are pro people in general. So no matter if you choose to make Nitzan or not, we will try to help you with the support of the organization and with your Aliyah process, because always being connected to an organization is easier facing the general challenges of bureaucracy. So write to Shana the direct questions. We hope you'll join Nitzan, but even if not, we'll do our best to help.
Entonces lo que respondió Oren, solo para resumir, es que sí vamos a acompañar en el proceso de una manera más cercana, y sí, más allá de si hacen o no el Maslul Nitzan, que le escriban a Yana con sus preguntas directamente, porque estar acompañado por una organización a veces es un poco más, genera un soporte un poco mejor frente a la burocracia que puede incluir el proceso.
But I do want to say, and I'm sorry I forgot to introduce Oren, who is the Rakaz, the coordinator of Hashomer HaTzair in the world, who just answered you. Nadu, if you want to translate.
Sí, y solo también para introducir a Oren, que es el director general de Hashomer HaTzair Mundial, quien acaba de responder.
And I think it's really important. If you're planning on making Aliyah and it's Corona and it's complicated, and if, as I told you, we have 10 spots in our program, so if you with us, we'll make everything for you to be on time. And if you're not with us and you need help, we're here to help no matter what.
Entonces lo que decía Yana es que, como les comentábamos, con el corona y con toda la situación de la pandemia puede ser un poco más complejo. Como les decíamos, hay 10 lugares dentro del programa, entonces si se quieren inscribir al programa, vamos a hacer todo lo posible para que estén a tiempo acá, y si igual no se van a anotar, también nos pueden contactar para que les ayudemos y podamos asistir con lo que esté a nuestro alcance dentro del proceso.
What is really important to say about your question, Melina, is that it shortens the time before the Aliyah and the draft in the army, okay? It's 4 months. You can make Aliyah by July and be in the army from November, okay? So this is something that we can for sure, this is the point of our program, okay? So that you're with us, we make everything together, and then you join the army pretty fast. So this is definitely something that is special in Maslul Nitzan.
Entonces, sí, algo importante para remarcar con la pregunta que hizo Melina es que se puede asistir en acelerar el proceso de Aliyah y también lo que es el ingreso al ejército. O sea, ustedes pueden hacer aliyá en julio y ya estar ingresando al ejército en noviembre, y esos 4 meses, lo importante para Maslul Nitzan es que están con nosotros, están dentro del programa y se acelera y se acompaña y facilita mucho más ese proceso.
Okay, any other, Melina, good? Or
Sí, sí, muchas gracias.
you're welcome. And Michal, we're listening to you.
Ya, ok. Ahora lo voy a decir en español. Mi pregunta es que si yo ahorita estoy haciendo la mejina y termino como en junio más o menos, todavía puedo entrar, o si ya hice el Sabrishon el domingo, o sea, ¿qué puedo hacer yo acá más o menos?
So Michal's question was that she's doing the Mechina right now, and she had her Tzav Rishon this Sunday, and she's ending the Mechina in June. If she can still join, or what she can do here.
Okay, so if you already have started the process, it's a bit more complicated, but it is something because of our partnership with the army, which is possible. Okay, so Nadu, if you want to translate, and then I'll continue explaining.
Entonces, si ya iniciaron el proceso con el ejército, es un poco más complejo, pero sí por la sociedad que se forma con el ejército, es algo en el que podemos trabajar.
So it just means that if we do the application process until mid-May. So if you're interested, Michal, you can register on the form, then we'll do the process with you. And if you're with us, then we send an email to the army. We tell them with your Teudat Zeut that they stopped contacting you, and then you continue from August on with us.
Entonces, Michal particularmente, o si hay otros casos y quieren participar del Maslul Nitzan, inscríbanse en el Forms, y si, digamos, cierran las inscripciones a mitad de mayo, y si quieren continuar en el proceso y quieren estar con Maslul Nitzan, se continúa el proceso con esa persona, y nosotros del Maslul le enviamos un mail a la Tzabá al ejército con su Teudat Zeut, diciendo que los dejen de contactar, que van a continuar con nosotros, y ahí se sigue el proceso como explicamos.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions? I see that on the chat we don't. So feel free to write or to raise your hand.
Si hay alguna pregunta más, pueden levantar la mano o escribir en el chat.
Okay, so we're gonna conclude. Is there Ben, you want to say something more about or no?
Me? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Just one thing, I think I've worked with a couple of programs with the Army, since the Army and stuff, and this is, to be very, very frank and very honest, this is the program that I recommend, okay? Without getting too much into details, we've seen great stuff happening to people coming with us to participate in the program. Now, do you want to translate?
Yeah. Entonces lo que Benji estaba diciendo, que trabajó ya con muchos programas en el ejército, después del ejército, y que realmente desde su experiencia este es el programa para hacer, que han visto cosas increíbles suceder con las personas que participaron de Maslul Nitzan.
And I guess it's a lot of information within 1 hour to share, but feel free to contact us directly with further questions that you may have, and we'll be happy to answer.
Entonces sabemos que es mucha información de pronto para tener en 1 hora, pero que realmente los invitamos a contactarnos con más preguntas, con cuestiones, con dudas que tengan, y con mucho gusto les vamos a estar respondiendo y entrando en contacto con ustedes.
So thank you everyone for joining, the one who are still with us, and everything, absolutely everything is on the website, and feel free to be in touch with us on social media as well.
Bueno, muchas gracias a todos y todas por participar. Todo lo que vieron y compartimos está en la página y también no duden en contactarnos por redes sociales si quieren.
So thank you also to Benji, Nadu, and Rafa for leading this with me, and all of you for being here. And I'll hope to see you in August at the airport and joining us for this amazing journey.
Sorry. Gracias nuevamente a todos por estar y que esperamos verlos en el aeropuerto en agosto para comenzar esta travesía.
Thank you, everyone. I'm staying with this session open. If you want to stay and talk to me, I'm staying here. So feel free to stay on and hopefully see you soon.